I recently got on Al Gore's internet and I told you all. I said, hey, I'm not really fond of people that like to remind me all the time that race is a social construct, right? Like, because you're right. Yeah, whatever. You win. But yeah, it's a social construct. It's constructed to whoop your ass. And I'm yet again reminded of that. See, the thing about solidarity, especially within the like West African diaspora, we're talking about from West Africa all the way to, the Caribbeans, and then you go to the Americas. What I find interesting about it is no matter how much we try to get into tribalism, the West reminds us often, like, you just need solidarity. You don't want to practice it? Okay, not my problem. Where am I going with this, and what does this have to do with the article? Okay, Trump's travel ban. Well, the first time, remember that travel ban? It was really called the Muslim ban. Then when Joe Biden got in office, rescinded that. That's gone. He did it again. And then now the Trump administration it wants to impose travel ban on dozens more countries. Right? Let's go through the list. The bottom here, you'll see the first list, right? So you got Afghanistan, the typical places they'll tell you, right? Sudan, Somalia. Then you got the Haiti, Iran, Congo, Chad, and there's restrictions from places like Burundi, Cuba, Sierra Leone, Togo. So, here are the countries that are considered. Right, they're considering these countries to face full or partial bans. All right, Angola, Antigua, Benin, Burkina Faso, Cameroon. You got Cambodia up there. Okay, Democratic Republic of Congo, Ghana, Nigeria. You try to keep Nigerians out, they'll find some way, one and another. Okay, anyway, and you see the list. You get the point. Now, obviously, some of these countries are not just black people. Yeah, mostly you're going to see countries here that are, Muslim, population, a higher Muslim population. And you see a country like Cuba, the history there with the United States. But let me connect this back to my main point. And the main point is that regardless of what the United States have told you, and I read through it, the reasons they've stated for security reasons, the etc. America has a way of radicalizing you where you realize that it's some of these countries some of these countries do harbor terrorists. Oh no. And then some of these countries are, what are you doing politically we don't agree with? And some of these other countries are, we want you to bend to our will, and or what resource do you have that we want? It's a culmination of things. But when you look at a majority of these countries, especially the ones of the West African diasporas, the Haiti, the Nigeria, the Congo, the Ghana, these places, St. Kitts, let's go through them again. The Dominica, you look at some of these places, Togo, Sierra Leone, and you start asking questions about the union, right? How close-knit are these people, and how could they stand together to say, okay, big shot America, if you're going to try to impose this ban on us, what can we do as a unit, right? So you don't get to demonize us in the international eyes, right? The African Union came out and they expressed concern over this bill, or in this case, this order. And then I think about the people. So now let's get away from politics. Us, right? All the conversations people are having about ICE and this, and whether color or the Hispanic population. Then I start thinking about even some of the immigrants that are now nationalized citizens that thought, oh, Nigerians for Trump. Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? Right? And then I start thinking about all the diaspora wars. My boy he almost got a country for every population. Nigeria, Haiti, Senegal. So yeah, it's all a construct. It's constructed to whoop your ass.